Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon to vote for the character you'd like to see next, and like and subscribe for more fashionable headwear next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Dr. Fate, the human host of Nabu the Wise, and the arbiter for the Lords of Order. Whoever dons the helmet of fate forfeits their autonomy to become one of the most powerful beings in the entirety of the DC universe. There's a bunch of different versions of Dr. Fate. This is sort of a amalgamation of all of them, similar to what we did for like the Green Lantern video or Men in Black video. Been a while since we did one of those.
It's gotta be a strange twist of fate, telling me that heaven can wait.
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need to be the ultimate magic practitioner, protecting the world from mystical threats. Wow, this doctor sure is strange. Next, we need a home base where we can keep all of our magical artifacts feeling safe and protected. Finally, you'll need to be a master of teleportation, able to not only travel anywhere you need to on this world, but also hop to other worlds and other dimensions. Just don't go into the amalgam universe, otherwise you'll have to deal with Lobo the Duck, and no one wants that. For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just keep your multi-classing minimums in mind. Intelligence first, that will be our spellcasting modifier, and putting on Nabu's cap grants you all the knowledge you need. Constitution next. When you take up the mantle of Dr. Fate, you do gain some durability, and you'll need all the HP you can get. Wisdom after that. Nabu is no fool, and neither is anyone who he deems worthy of wearing his helmet. Maybe Steel Maxim is a bit of a doofus, but that was a one-time mistake. Follow that up with Dexterity. We're not wearing the heaviest of armor, so it will boost our AC a little bit. Strength is a bit low, since you can just bibbity-boppity-boo things and lift them with your mind. We'll dump Charisma. You're not a people person when you're Dr. Fate. Maybe you should try eating a Snickers, unless that's why Nabu didn't put the mouth on the helmet. Oh, he's good. Dr. Fate isn't really a human, but he also isn't not a human, so that sounds like custom lineage to me. Raise your intelligence by 2 and take the Eldritch Adept feat for some extra help from the Lords of Order. That'll let you pick one Eldritch Invocation from the Warlock class, like Armor of Shadows, for an unlimited casting of Mage Armor to make your AC 13 plus your Dexterity instead of just 10 plus Dex. For your skill of choice, scoop up Proficiency and Religion and make your own background for Insight and Investigation for those good mind-ready investigatory powers. Took me a while to settle on what class would be best for Dr. Fate. At first I was thinking Holy Soli or Clockwork Sorcerer, but the limited spell list and only knowing 15 spells isn't gonna cut it. Then I thought Arcana Domain Cleric for a bigger spell list and flexibility in what you prepare for the day, but then Fate wouldn't be able to cast Fly or Counterspell, which doesn't feel right. Ultimately, I decided to go with Wizard. That'll let you pick up 2 more proficiencies like Arcana and History, since you know quite a bit about magic. Nabu is always whispering in your ear about how cool the 90s were, specifically the 1390s. He was a big fan of King Sigismund of Hungary. I'm more of a King Ladislaus kind of guy, but to each their own. First level wizards get Arcane Recovery, letting them regain a number of spell slots, no higher than 5th level, equal to half their wizard level rounded up, once per short rest. Speaking of spells, cantrips. Why don't you grab Prestidigitation to do a bunch of small, harmless magical effects? Make some sparks, confetti, light or snuff out a candle, clean your uniform, warm up some soup, whatever you want. You can also grab Mage Hand for some easy long-distance matter manipulation, allowing you to create a spectral hand that can travel up to 30 feet away from you and lift things weighing up to 10 pounds or less. Sword Burst will create some spectral onks that swirl around 5 feet of you, forcing nearby creatures to make a dexterity saving throw or take 1d6 force damage. Honestly, any of the cantrips available to wizards could work for Dr. Fate since he can cast whatever he wants, so if you don't like these options, pick something else. For first level spells, Shield will raise your AC by 5 as a reaction until the start of your next turn to help you avoid as much damage as possible. Detect Magic allows you to sense magic within 30 feet of you, as well as using your action to determine what kind of school of magic is involved. Chromatic Orb lets you make a ranged spell attack that deals acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage. 3d8 of the appropriate damage type on a hit. Pick and choose the right damage for the right situation. Featherfall lets you use your reaction to slow the descent of up to 5 falling creatures so they don't take any damage when they land. Use this to keep yourself, Superman, Miss Martian, Green Lantern, and Hawkgirl from going splat. Oh, they can all fly. That doesn't sound right. Identify will tell you what a magical item is and how many charges it has left, so you'll know what funky stuff you're dealing with. And Magic Missile lets you shoot out 3 glowing orbs of energy that deal 1d4 plus 1 force damage each and automatically hit. You don't even have to roll. The only issue is if someone uses a shield spell, that'll automatically negate these magical onk blasts. Second level wizards get to pick an arcane tradition, and we will go for the School of Divination. That'll give you 2 portent die. These are d20s you roll at the end of a long rest. Then you can replace a d20 roll that you or someone someone else rolls with this. If you roll high, give it to yourself or a friend. You roll low, give it to an enemy trying to attack you. It helps to know what's coming. Believe it or not, seeing into the future, pretty helpful. For your spells at this level, Alarm will create a security system in a 20-foot cube space until the spell ends. Any creature not pre-approved by you that enters the area will alert you either mentally or audibly. It's like having a ring security system, except you're not contributing to a surveillance state. Also take Thunderwave, letting you send out a raucous wave of energy centered on yourself in a 15-foot cube. Creatures in that area that fail a Constitution saving throw take 2d8 thunder damage and are pushed 10 feet away from you. On a success, creatures stay put and only take half damage. It's a fun alternative to playing the Cha-Cha slide if you want someone to take it back now, y'all. Third level wizards can learn second level spells. Detect Thoughts lets you read people's minds on a surface level within 30 feet of you. You can probe deeper if they fail a wisdom saving throw, but it's kind of a violation of privacy. Also take Hold Person, that'll paralyze a humanoid that fails a wisdom saving throw, so critical hits are free up against them. Lots of rogues in the Justice League with Batman, Batgirl, Robin, another Bat person. Basically just a lot of Bat people. Sneak attack's good with a critical hit. Fourth level wizards get an ability score improvement or feat bump your intelligence up to 17 for a bigger brain, and so you can get a boost to your spell save DC and spell attack bonuses. As for your spells, pick up Levitate to make a creature or object of 500 pounds lighter than air. If you pick an unwilling creature, they can make a Constitution saving throw to resist your magic. Otherwise, you can move it 20 feet up or down on your turn. Invisibility is another fun utility spell, turning a creature invisible for up to an hour, depending on your concentration, or until they attack or cast another spell. So it's great for infiltration, as long as that infiltration doesn't escalate to violence. Fifth level wizards can learn third level spells. That means we can fly, or grant another creature a flying speed of 60 feet for 10 minutes. A power no one else in the Justice Society has, except for all of them. Counterspell is always useful, shuts down spells of third level or lower automatically, and higher level spells with an intelligence check of 10 plus the spell's level. It always helps to have a little bit of abjuration. Actually thought about making him an abjuration wizard, but decided, the portents are kind of important. Sixth level divination wizards become experts in divination. That means that when you cast a divination spell of second level or higher using a spell slot, you regain one expended spell slot. The slot you regain has to be of a lower level than the spell you cast and can't be higher than 5th level, but this will get really good later when we just need information. You also learn 2 more spells. Lightning Bolt forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 100-foot line. Failing that, they take 8d6 lightning damage, though you could trade this out for Fireball or any other damage spell you prefer. I just wanted a damage spell, and I always do Fireball. Dispel Magic will also be a great option, letting you end magical effects on any given area, individual, or object equal to the level of the spell casting you cast, starting at 3rd and shutting those down automatically. If you want to shut down higher level spells, that will require an intelligence check of 10 plus the spell's level. 7th level wizards get 4th level spells. We can grab Banishment. That lets you yeet a creature out of this plane of existence by forcing a charisma saving throw on them. If they fail, they're sent to a harmless demiplane for 1 minute or back to the dimension they came from. If you hold that concentration the whole time and they're not from here, they stay there. It's the best way to put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. Are Monsters Inc. references hitting with the kids right now? I sure hope so. Dimension Door lets you and a willing pal travel anywhere within 500 feet of where you're currently standing. This is another way to open a door like Mike Wazowski, but this one's a shadow door. 8th level wizards get another ability score improvement, raise your intelligence again for those good counter spells, and holds persons. It won't really help with Fabricate or Polymorph though. Those are the 2 spells we're going to grab here. Fabricate turns one thing into another as long as it's made from the same raw materials. It's a great spell for getting creative, basically a Minecraft spell. Now I know a Minecraft reference is going to hit with the kids. Polymorph lets you turn yourself or a pal into a beast of challenge rating equal to or lesser than their current level or challenge rating. They remain in that form for an hour or until your concentration is broken or they lose all the hit points. If you're casting this on someone who doesn't want to change shape, they have to make a wisdom saving throw to resist the spell. You could turn yourself into a T-Rex or make your enemy a bunny and then put it in a box. Either way, that's a win. 9th level wizards can learn 5th level spells. I was going to grab Modify Memory, but that's more of a Satana thing. Instead, we're going to grab Legend Lore. That'll let you name a person, place, or thing of legendary renown, and then you get information about it. It's a 5th level divination spell, which means that when you cast it, you can get a 4th level spell slot back for free. That's pretty cool. That should encourage you to use this and get all that sweet lore your DM is holding and hiding from you. Synaptic Static is a great mental blast. It's like Fireball, but instead of flame, you create a 20-foot radius sphere of psychic energy that explodes. Creatures inside have to make an intelligence saving throw, or they'll take 8d6 psychic damage, half as much on a success. If they do fail, their mind is clouded, and any attack roll, ability check, or saving throw they make to maintain concentration will have a d6 penalty for the next minute minute or until they're able to succeed on the save at the end of each of their turns. 10th level divination wizards get the third eye, boosting your powers of perception and giving yourself a little buff that lasts until you take another short rest. You can give yourself dark vision out to a range of 60 feet, see into the ethereal plane within 60 feet of you. That kind of lets you see through walls. It's pretty cool. You could read any language, or you could see invisible creatures and objects within 10 feet of you that are within line of sight. You get to swap these out as you see fit, which is a fun pun because as you see fit, and they're all sight. I'm funny sometimes. For this level spells, Hold Monster is like Hold Person, but without the restriction for humanoids, so you can use it on whatever monster's dark side is sending down from Apocalypse. Scrying is pure utility. With that, you can pick a creature on the same plane of existence to peek in on. The target of the spell makes a wisdom saving throw, which varies in difficulty depending on how familiar you are with the individual, if you have any images of them or some of their possessions. If they fail, you're able to see and hear through an invisible sensor that follows them around, allowing you to get some intel into what the Legion of Doom is planning. Also, 5th level divination spell, so after you cast it, you get a 4th level spell slot back. You could use legend lore to get good information about the person you're planning to scry, use your second 5th level slot to use scrying, then spy on them and get 2 4th level spell slots back. That's a really good bargain. 11th level wizards can learn 6th level spells like Fizban's Platinum Shield. That'll give the person you're shielding benefits of half cover. That's +2 to your AC and dexterity saving throws, resistance to acid, cold, fire, lightning, and poison damage, and evasion from the 7th level of Rogue or Monk, so you take half damage on failed dex saving throws and no damage on successful ones. You can also change who the shield is protecting on future turns with a bonus action, so you can shield whoever seems like they're up front taking the damage. Sunbeam will let you shoot some lasers out of your Ankh, forcing a Constitution saving throw on creatures in a 60-foot long line, dealing 68 radiant damage and blinding them until the end of their next turn if they fail, half damage and no blinding if they succeed. Undeads and oozes have disadvantage on this saving throw, so Solomon Grundy and Plasmus will definitely take some heat. 12th level wizards get another ability score improvement, cap off your intelligence at 20 for maximum spell efficiency, and bump your constitution up 1 point for an even 14 and some more HP. For your spells at this level, contingency will let you pick any spell of 5th level or lower to come out sometime in the next 10 days. Maybe fly if you're falling from a height of greater than 30 feet, something like that. It's basically a way to store spell slots for tomorrow if you have leftovers. Mass Suggestion forces a wisdom saving throw on up to 12 creatures. Failing out, they have to try and complete a task you give them for up to 24 hours. This doesn't require concentration, so you can cast it, tell people to dig a big hole, take a nap, wake up, tell them to keep digging, as long as it's not directly harmful to them. 13th level wizards learn 7th level spells. Symbol is such a funky thing that can do so many funky things, so let's try and do it quickly. First, you make a symbol on the floor. Pretty simple. It's hidden, it's invisible until someone makes an investigation check against your spell DC. You can decide more specific things to trigger it, or it could just be someone stepping on it. Here are the things you can do. 1. Death. Force a Constitution saving throw on creatures in the explodey area. They take 10d10 necrotic damage on a failed save, half damage on a success. Number 2, Discord. Each creature has to make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed saving throw, everybody needs to bicker, and they can't have meaningful communication and have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. Number 3, Fear. It's a Wisdom saving throw, frightening creatures for 1 minute on a failed save. While frightened, the creature drops whatever they're holding and have to run away from the glyph on each of their turns if they're able. Number 4, Hopelessness. That's a Charisma saving throw. Failing that saving throw, they're overwhelmed with despair and can't attack any target or creature with harmful abilities, spells, or magical effects. Number 5, Insanity. That forces an Intelligence saving throw. On a failed save, they're driven insane. Insane creatures can't take actions, can't understand what other creatures say, can't read, and only speak in gibberish. The Dungeon Master also gets to control their movement, which is erratic. Number 6, Pain. Each target must make a Constitution saving throw and become incapacitated with excruciating pain for 1 minute on a failed save. Number 7, Sleep. It's a Wisdom saving throw and makes people fall unconscious for 10 minutes if they fail. They're woken up if they take damage. And number 8, Stunning. It's a Wisdom saving throw or they're stunned for 1 minute on a failed save. Oh boy, that was 2 minutes for one spell. How you doing, gamers? I love wizards. They make the videos so long. Maybe Symbol isn't up your alley, but Teleport should be. That'll teleport you and up to 8 willing creatures to any place you know of on the same same plane of existence. Depending on how familiar you are with the location, the more accurate you'll teleport. So hey, here's an idea. Use legend lore, get a 4th level spell slot back, and then teleport to somewhere you know exactly where it is. 14th level divination wizards get greater portent, which isn't actually greater than your other portents, it's just another one. You now have 3 portent die. For your spells this level, plane shift will let you and up to 8 willing creatures travel to another plane, or you can send someone else to the no-no zone by forcing a charisma saving throw on them after you hit them with a melee spell attack. I personally would use it for travel. I love seeing new places, but if you want to use it to send Darkside to the 9 hells, that's fine too. We're gonna kick it back to the 1st level now for catapult. That'll let you throw an object that weighs 5 pounds or less at someone, forcing a dexterity saving throw. Failing that, they take 3d8 bludgeoning damage or a relevant type of damage if it's sharp. So you can now pick up a rock and throw it at Child. To be clear, I'm talking about the DC villain called Child, not children in general. The official Tulok stance on throwing rocks at kids in general is don't. 15th level wizards get 8th level spells. Anti-magic field can be good for you, but would probably be bad for you. Creates a 10-foot radius sphere that observes all magic and no magic can get through it. It'll also shut down magical effects on magical items. It's a pretty great way to shut down another wizard if you just keep them in the bubble, but it also means you're going to be pretty much useless. It pairs nicely with Force Cage. That'll make an immovable, invisible cube that extends into the ethereal plane, so even Martian Manhunter can't walk through it. It's up to 20 feet on each side with half-inch spaced bars, or up to 10 feet on each side and has completely solid walls. That should keep a Chaos Lord at bay. 16th level wizards get another ability score improvement or feat. Bump your constitution for more concentration on your spells and a little more HP. For your spells, grab Dominate Monster. That'll force a wisdom saving throw on a monster of any kind. Then you're pulling the puppet strings, controlling them either directly or indirectly. Directly takes an action. I suggest just giving it suggestions. Telepathy will create a telepathic link between yourself and a willing creature without taking over their body. As long as you and the creature are on the same plane of existence and the spell is active, you can speak to one another, share ideas, images, even sensory messages to one another. It's basically like being in a Discord chat with your best pal. 17th level wizards can learn 9th level spells, which means we can finally get the ultimate spell that can do anything, Wish. That'll let you cast any spell of 8th level or lower, or anything else. The only problem is if you do anything else, your strength will drop to 3 for the next couple of days until you finish a long rest every time, and you'll take a d10 of necrotic damage per spell level you cast. Also, there's a 33% chance you'll never be able to cast it again, so you know, kind of a risky play. Invulnerability is a less risky play. It'll just make you immune to all damage for 10 minutes until your concentration is broken, but you can't take damage, so what are you gonna have trouble concentrating on? Just take no damage for 10 minutes and destroy stuff with cantrips. 18th level wizards become spellmasters with spell mastery. That lets you pick a 1st and 2nd level spell to cast at will whenever you have them prepared. You already have infinite mage armor, so how about an infinite number of shields? Basically permanently raising your AC by 5 as long as you don't mind missing out on the opportunity attacks. For your 2nd level spell, Detect Thoughts will always give you the upper hand in social situations, even though your charisma is poor. For this level spell, Foresight will let you totally see the will of fate, giving you advantage on all ability checks, attack rolls, and saving throws. Creatures attacking you will have disadvantage. It lasts for 8 hours and doesn't require concentration. You will just be better than everyone else. I'd also grab Mighty Fortress to create your own Tower of Fate. I was gonna suggest grabbing Galder's Tower, but Mighty Fortress is a bit more in line with the tower in the comics and the other media. It'll make a huge stone fortress that'll appear in an area that's 120 feet on each side. It has 4 turrets. It's a multi-level furnished keep with as many rooms as you desire. There's enough food inside for a 9-course banquet for 100 people each day, and their staff of 100 invisible servants that will follow any command given to them by a creature you designate. The tower disappears after 7 days, but if you cast the spell on the same spot every week for a year, the fortress becomes permanent. Now, you've got a home base wherever you go, assuming that you have a diamond worth 500 GP on you and can get a new one every time you want to cast the spell. 19th level wizards get our last ability score improvement or feat, and this time I think I'll just go for the tough feat. That's 2 extra HP for every level you have and every level you get, which is 1 more level. For this level spells, True Seeing will give yourself or an ally True Sight. That'll let you see through any shape changers shape shifting and through magical and non-magical darkness. I guess you probably need this to see out of the helmet, right? Because it's like pretty solid brass. Dominate Person is like Dominate Monster, but it only works on humanoids. It's less useful, but it also requires a lower spell slot. So, you know, it's kind of worth the trade. We're gonna wrap things up with the 20th level of Wizard for signature spells to cast 2 3rd level spells in your spell book once per short rest without spending a spell slot. I'd say fly and counterspell, so you can always get around and you can always shut down a spell. For this level spell, Tasha's Otherworldly Guise from the 6th level will give you another form of flying speed. With 40 feet of flying speed, you can make an extra melee weapon attack, and you make your melee weapon attacks using your intelligence modifier instead of your strength or dexterity, so you can actually throw down if you want to. It'll also raise your AC by 2 and make you immune to fire and poison damage and the poisoned condition, or radiant and necrotic damage and the charmed condition. Just depends on what type of buffs you feel like you'll need. For our final spell, we'll take Jump. I'm kidding, we'll just jump to Disintegrate from the 6th level. That'll target a creature to make a dexterity saving throw or take 10d6 plus 40 force damage, and if that drops them down to 0, they just turn into dust. That's harder to resurrect. This is a save or suck spell though, so if they make the save, nothing happens. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you have spells on spells. Chances are you have exactly what you need for the situation at hand, and if you don't have what you need, you have Wish for every spell of 8th level or lower, as long as you don't, ruin that by wishing for something intense. You also got plenty of HP and ways to soak up damage or just avoid it altogether. Finally, with Portents, Foresight, and Legend Lore, you're always going to know what you're fighting before you have to fight it. As for cons, you got no charisma, and neither does Dr. Fate. Sick burn, meaning that you could end up getting banished yourself. You also have a lot of concentration spells and only one brain to keep them active, so you'll have to pick and choose which of Dr. Fate's powers you want to have at any given time. Finally, if we reworked our ASIs and feat choices, we could have had the Resilient feat for Constitution to get proficiency in con saves, but we still have +5, so it's fine. If that's the biggest problem with the build, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel. You've got longevity and spells to have a major impact on the battlefield. So put on the helmet, bring out the onks, and bring order and balance to the world, riddled with chaos. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Join the Patreon to vote for the character you want to see next, and sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.